Hello, Los Angeles Lakers fan. We're back with an exclusive video bringing you the latest updates. First of all, subscribe to the channel and like the video. It's crucial for you to stay informed with the news daily. Without further ado, let's get to the news. Michael Porter Jr. to the Lakers. Just saying those words feels like a basketball fever dream. The kind of thing you hear in those grainy Instagram reels where someone's got a blurry picture of him walking out of LAX with a hoodie up, and suddenly the entire Lakers Twitter universe catches fire. Now, nobody's gone on record yet. No WOJ bomb, no Shams nuke, but that's exactly what makes this so delicious. Because when the smoke starts rising around Los Angeles, especially in the off-season, it's usually because someone's cooking up something in the front office. Porter Jr., with his length, his shooting, his ability to space the floor. Imagine him next to LeBron, feeding off the gravity of the king while AD's patrolling the paint. The fit feels almost too perfect, like the kind of thing you'd build in NBA 2K MyGM mode after turning trade override on. And here's the kicker. The chatter isn't just coming from fans. Some of the whispers are trickling down from people who've been right before, people who called the Rue Hachimura deal before it even hit the press. That's when you start leaning in and thinking, wait a second, could this actually be happening right now? Michael Porter Jr. to the Lakers. Just saying those words feels like a basketball fever dream. The kind of thing you hear in those grainy Instagram reels where someone's got a blurry picture of him walking out of LAX with a hoodie up, and suddenly the entire Lakers Twitter universe catches fire. Now, nobody's gone on record yet. No WOJ bomb, no Shams nuke, but that's exactly what makes this so delicious. Because when the smoke starts rising around Los Angeles, especially in the off-season, it's usually because someone's cooking up something in the front office. Porter Jr., with his length, his shooting, his ability to space the floor, imagine him next to LeBron, feeding off the gravity of the king while AD's patrolling the paint. The fit feels almost too perfect, like the kind of thing you'd build in NBA 2K MyGM mode after turning trade override on. And here's the kicker. The chatter isn't just coming from fans. Some of the whispers are trickling down from people who've been right before, people who called the Rue Hachimura deal before it even hit the press. That's when you start leaning in and thinking, wait a second, could this actually be happening right now? The real hook here isn't just the name, it's the timing. The Lakers aren't exactly in a position to sit still and wait for the next big opportunity. They need moves, and they need them fast. The Western Conference isn't forgiving, and with teams like Denver, Phoenix, and even Sacramento loading up, the Lakers know that standing pat is basically waving the white flag. Porter Jr. represents the kind of calculated gamble that could push them over the top. He's still young, still developing, but already has playoff experience and a championship ring to show for it. People will bring up the back injuries, sure, but the Lakers' medical staff is famous for getting the most out of their stars late into their careers. If they believe Porter's body can hold up, then suddenly you're talking about a long, athletic, deadly shooter who can switch across positions and fit into Darvin Ham's defensive schemes. You can see it now. LeBron drawing two defenders, kicking to the corner, Porter rising up with that high-release splash. Staples Center or Crypto.com Arena exploding. What's adding fuel to the fire is the sudden spike in Porter Jr. content floating around online. Not just highlight mixes, but random throwback clips, speculation videos, and, most suspiciously, posts from Lakers-related fan accounts with captions that feel just a little too specific to be purely hypothetical. The kind of stuff like imagine MPJ in purple and gold eyes, with no context, which in NBA social media language basically means someone's heard something. And then there's the little breadcrumbs. Porter recently followed two Lakers players on Instagram, and an assistant coach on the Lakers staff followed him back. Coincidence? Maybe. But in this league, especially in this era, social media is often the first place trades and signings show themselves. If you've been watching this game long enough, you know the pattern. Follows lead to cryptic tweets lead to unconfirmed reports lead to, well, sometimes they lead to nothing. But other times, they lead to exactly what everyone's been dreaming about. And right now, that dream has Porter Jr. standing on the Lakers baseline, catching dimes from LeBron James. There's also the Denver angle, which is fascinating. The Nuggets are coming off a championship, Porter's a starter, and you'd think they'd want to keep that core together forever. But the NBA isn't a fairy tale, it's a business. Denver's got huge contracts on the books. They got to think about keeping Jokic happy long-term, and maybe they see Porter as their most movable piece. If they think his value is at its peak, or if they quietly have concerns about his health, this could be the time to cash in. And who better to deal with than a team desperate to make a big splash like the Lakers? We've seen Denver be ruthless before. They moved on from beloved players when it made sense strategically. And if the Lakers are dangling the right mix of assets, future picks, young players, maybe even a sign-and-trade piece, Denver could at least be tempted. Nobody's saying the done deal, but the whispers are growing louder. And in the NBA, when two franchises have mutual motivation, even the most unlikely trades start to feel possible. This is exactly how blockbusters are born, slowly, then all at once. From a basketball standpoint, Porter's fit in Los Angeles is almost unfair. The Lakers have struggled with perimeter shooting for years, and while they've patched it here and there, they've never had a consistent, elite-level shooter at the forward spot, next to LeBron, who also has the size to defend multiple positions. Porter is 6 feet 10 inches, with a silky shooting stroke and the confidence to let it fly even in the biggest moments. Yes, there's some streakiness in his game, but when he's hot, he completely changes the geometry of the court. Defenses can't sag off him to help on LeBron or AD without paying for it. And that opens up the paint for drives, cuts, and post-ups. And let's not overlook the fast break. LeBron running the floor, AD trailing, and Porter spotting up on the wing? That's a nightmare for any defense. Even his mid-range game adds another layer, giving Darvin Ham options for late clock situations. This wouldn't just be a flashy move to get headlines. It could be the basketball equivalent of solving a years-long puzzle for the Lakers roster. Of course, with any rumor like this, there's the lingering question, is this just smoke, or is there really fire underneath? The Lakers have been linked to dozens of names over the past few years, and not all of them panned out. For every Anthony Davis trade that happened, there's a dozen Player X to the Lakers stories that fizzled out in a week. But here's the thing, this feels different. Maybe it's the fact that the chatter isn't coming from the usual rumor mill suspects, but from a mix of insiders, former players, and even rival team reporters hinting at big moves from LA. The tone isn't, maybe, it's more like, don't be surprised if. And when the league's plugged-in voices start talking like that, you perk up. There's a confidence to the way the story's being told right now. Like the pieces are already on the table, and all that's left is to put them together. That's the kind of energy that precedes major announcements. And for the Lakers, it's the kind of energy that says they're not content to just be competitive. They're aiming for domination. The fan reaction has been exactly what you'd expect, pure chaos. Lakers Nation is already photoshopping Porter into purple and gold jerseys, debating what number he'd wear, and posting starting lineup graphics with him slotted in as the new small forward. You got half the fan base convinced it's already a done deal, and the other half frantically analyzing salary cap math to see how it could even work. The comment sections are a war zone, some calling it the steal of the decade, others warning about injury history and overpaying. That's the beauty of Lakers rumors. They turn into full-blown cultural events before a single source confirms anything. And honestly, that might be part of the front office's strategy. Generate buzz, let the excitement build, and create an environment where the fan base is primed to embrace the move when it happens. After all, in a city like Los Angeles, basketball isn't just a sport, it's entertainment. And nothing draws an audience quite like the possibility of adding a young star to a roster that already features two of the game's biggest names. It's Hollywood storytelling, but in high tops instead of tuxedos. Here's where things get really spicy. How this deal could actually go down. The Lakers don't have a mountain of draft picks to throw around, but they do have some interesting pieces. Austin Reeves is probably untouchable at this point, given how he's blossomed into a fan favorite and secondary playmaker. But guys like D'Angelo Russell, Jared Vanderbilt, and even Rui Hachimura could be in the conversation. Then there's the possibility of a three-team trade, which is practically a staple of Lakers history whenever they're chasing a big name. Denver might not want what the Lakers have directly, but another team could jump in to make the puzzle pieces fit. And don't forget the contract math. Porter's deal is hefty, meaning the Lakers would need to send significant salary back. This is where Rob Pelinka's reputation as a dealmaker gets tested. He's pulled off the improbable before, and he knows how to play the patience game while still making big moves. If this rumor has legs, you can bet the front office is already deep into the scenarios, running every possible package through the trade machine, looking for that one combination that makes both the numbers and the narrative work. Before we continue, we ask that you leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Lakers updates. Moving on. Now, the interesting twist is that Porter Jr. himself might have a say in all this. While NBA contracts are binding, we've seen more and more stars exert influence over where they end up, even without no-trade clauses. If Porter sees a chance to play alongside LeBron and AD in a major market, it's not far-fetched to think he'd be open about his preferences. Players talk, agents talk, and sometimes just the hint that a player is enthusiastic about a destination is enough to move negotiations along. Imagine Porter quietly telling his inner circle how much he'd love the spotlight of Los Angeles, the bright lights, the chance to play in front of celebrities every night. Word like that gets around, and when it reaches the right ears in a front office, it can flip a team's willingness to engage. Remember, this is the Lakers. They thrive on stars who want to be here. If Porter is even subtly leaning toward LA, that could be the green light for Pelinka to push harder. From Denver's side, the calculus is cold but clear. They've already got their centerpiece in Jokic, their second star in Jamal Murray, and a versatile, underrated glue guy in Aaron Gordon. Porter's value comes from his shooting and length, but if they believe they can replace some of that production at a lower cost, they might see an opportunity to retool around the edges while freeing up cap space. Denver's front office isn't afraid to make unpopular moves if it means extending their championship window. They've also been scouting younger wings, and some insiders believe they're looking for a player who's a bit more durable and consistent on defense. If the Lakers can offer them a defensive specialist plus draft assets, it's not impossible that Denver says yes. And here's the kicker. There's also talk that Denver might be looking to make their own splash move, which would require shedding a big salary. If that's true, Porter becomes the most logical candidate, making this rumor feel less like fantasy and more like a plausible business decision. The Lakers' timeline is another reason this makes sense. LeBron isn't getting younger, and every season counts in a race to add one more championship to his legacy. Anthony Davis is still in his prime, but big men with his injury history can't be taken for granted. The window is now, and standing still in this Western Conference is basically like walking backward. Porter Jr., even with his imperfections, represents a chance to significantly raise the Lakers' ceiling without mortgaging the future entirely. He's young enough to be part of a post-LeBron core, but good enough right now to make a difference in a playoff series. The Lakers have made moves like this before. Think Pau Gasol in 2008, a trade that instantly shifted their trajectory. Porter wouldn't come as cheaply, but the principle is the same. Get the right guy at the right time, and suddenly the entire season changes. The Lakers have always lived by the mantra that talent wins, and when a talent like Porter becomes even remotely available, they at least pick up the phone. And judging by this noise, the phone might already be ringing. If Porter does land in LA, the ripple effects would be huge. First, it changes the offensive spacing entirely. Teams would have to pick their poison between doubling AD in the post, helping on LeBron's drives, or staying glued to Porter on the perimeter. Second, it sends a message to the league that the Lakers are still in the business of swinging for stars, which could influence future free agents. Third, it could alter how the Lakers approach the rest of the roster. Suddenly, you can afford to go lighter on shooting from other positions because Porter provides it in spades. But beyond the X's and O's, there's the intangible factor of excitement. The Lakers are as much about the show as the score, and Porter's combination of size, skill, and swagger is made for Hollywood. Highlights of him pulling up for threes in transition, hitting game winners, or throwing down putback dunks would dominate SportsCenter. For a franchise that thrives on moments, that's priceless. And in a season where they'll be battling for attention with a crowded LA sports market, A player like Porter could be the spark that keeps the spotlight firmly on purple and gold. But let's not forget, this is still the NBA, and deals like this can collapse in the blink of an eye. All it takes is one leak from a front office that doesn't like the direction of talks, one rival team stepping in with a better offer, or one player in the trade package expressing reluctance to move. The Lakers have had plenty of near misses in recent years. Remember the almost trade for Buddy Hield, the rumored Kyle Lowry deal, the endless chatter about Damian Lillard? Nothing's official until the press release drops, and even then, the league office has to approve it. That's part of why fans are so hooked on the process. It's a soap opera with plot twists at every turn. For every insider saying, it's close, there's another reminding you that talks are just talks. The question is whether this one has that extra bit of inevitability, the kind that turns smoke into fire. Right now, it's impossible to say for sure, but the fact we're even having this conversation tells you how much momentum is building behind the scenes. For now, all eyes are on the little signs, the travel schedules, the social media breadcrumbs, the cryptic interviews. Porter's recent comments about loving challenges and always being ready for a new chapter have been dissected like the Zapruder film. LeBron's Instagram story featuring a crown emoji and a pair of eyes sent conspiracy theorists into overdrive. Even AD's casual, "we'll see what happens" in a post-practice interview has been interpreted as a wink to the knowing. It's all part of the theater, and Lakers fans are seasoned audience members at this point. They know when the music changes, and right now, there's definitely a different beat playing in the background. Whether it's leading to a blockbuster trade or just another summer of what-ifs remains to be seen. But for a fan base that lives for these moments, the journey is half the fun. And if the destination happens to be Michael Porter Jr. in a Lakers uniform, well, you can bet that purple and gold parade route will be mapped out before the ink on the contract even dries. Stay informed exclusively about Los Angeles Lakers news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep receiving daily updates. Also, share your opinion on the news in the comments, as your contribution is crucial for the Lakers. Stay tuned for the next video.